Hi, good morning, and it's the midnight rambling redneck hippie from down here in South Georgia saying, howdy to y'all out there. This is one of them original South Georgia swamp billies, and I want to welcome you to this evening to our wonderful show of some of this is a new channel, and I got a lot of bugs I'm trying to work out. I'm telling you what. Um, yeah, that too. But why not with my rooster, man? He was making some noise, wasn't he? I don't know if you could hear it. I could hear him good. Anyway, rooster's outside there. Um, anyway, this midnight ramblings is going to be me and some other folks. Fingers crossed. Come in and say hi. We have a chat, and excuse me. But if you happen to catch me live, then right now I'm on Google Hangouts due to my floppy thing, and the normal computer that I normally have is still not working correctly. And I'm sitting here with my other laptop trying to get it to work correctly. Both of those are Microsoft machines, and this one is a Chromebook. And man, I tell you, I don't know nothing about this Chrome software, and I ain't gonna beat up on it. No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to beat up on it, and the reason I say that is because some of it's fairly easy to use. I'm not gonna gripe about that, but I started working with Windows computers back when Windows was like 3.1 or 3.0, or was there a before Windows 3? I'm not sure. But the biggest thing is like oh good. I've got an old Windows 10 upgrade thing on this, and it's saying, I'm sorry, but we can't get it. I don't want it. It's what messed up my other computer there. So, but anyway, I don't want to beat up on these Chromebooks. However, I do want to say, if any of you out there have grown up with maybe even some IMAX kind of thing, when I go to work on a photo, I don't want to have to get online to do it. I would just really rather just my computer's on. Shouldn't there just be a piece of software where I go click on it and it comes up and I work on it, and I don't have to worry about whether or not my internet connection is fast enough or not? No. This thing relies a lot on the internet. I'm in the swamp, for goodness sakes. I have squirrels in the background working overtime tonight, trying to keep these things going so I can even broadcast to you right now, kind of thing. Yeah, anyway. So, introductions. My name is David. No, that is my Christian name, and my Indian name is Hawkeye Two Feathers. And there'll be a lot of times where somebody say, well, I'll say, hi, good evening, this is Hawkeye Two Feathers. And you'll go, well, that ain't the same guy. Well, I am, but I ain't, And that's something that's I'm going to be discussing here just in the future. All right. And I do have a G plus thing. I'm really, really trying to get all this back together. I've had so much trashed with losing my computers and programs. I've been locked out of one of my Facebook accounts. Gmail is wanting to just be just like crazy, and I don't know why I have to create a dadgum Foxfire account now neither, I really don't. But it's like, okay, Foxfire, here we go. Don't I have enough dadgum things to go with, email. Oh, all right, let me see. Oh my God, this is a Windows machine. I know how to use it. I know, little baby. Don't. This particular machine that is videotaping me right now, and happens to be an HP, and I won't speak bad about it. No, there's really not enough RAM on these things. Really, 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 really. HP, do your customers a favor. Put enough RAM in there to have more than 3 windows open at one time on the internet, and to have your machine, I'm talking lock up and shut down. What? This reminds me of Windows 3.1, guys. Come on. The HP is crashing because there's not enough onboard memory to run 3 or 4 pages. And I'm not talking video. I'm just talking 3 or 4 pages open. Okay? And you want to switch between them. And, for example, I don't do a lot of copy and pasting, but there are sometimes, and I'll write something in a thread. And I want to copy what I wrote in a thread and just paste it into a Word document on my machine. Do you know it almost takes an act of God to do that? I mean, for real. It's like, what? I can't just like drop it over here and put it over here. It will go copy to the clipboard. But then when you go to switch from the page to go down to the little thing, the Word document thing, it wants to I'm sorry, this other thing here's going kind of wum bum on me. Let me finish my email thing here while I'm doing this. I'm upstairs in my office, and last time I was on the air here, I was downstairs in my comfy chair. Not that this chair is bad, mind you, but I'm downstairs. It's hot up here, by the way, too. I'm gonna have to turn me on a fan. Let's see. Which one? We'll just use the Gmail account. All right, let's see. I wonder if they want me to have my password to Mozilla or a password to Gmail. There's a lot of stuff these days that are like ambiguous, and they say, well, here, go ahead and do this, and you go, well, and like, I'm like, do they want my Gmail password? Now, see, this is Mozilla. Now, they want my email account, but now they want a password. Now, do they want my password from Gmail to show up? No. I mean, you know, I think they're saying give me a new password for your Mozilla account. But they don't say that. A point, you see. Not being ugly, they just not making it a point. They're not explaining. They're not explaining themselves, Lucy. Oh, crumb. What? How old am I? What? How old are you? This is Mozilla, okay? And I've used Mozilla forever. Back before it was Mozilla, it was something else, Thunderbird, Firefox, all through them, right? And why is it asking me how old I am? Okay. All right now. And all right. Oh, excuse me. It says I have to enter my age to sign up. All right. How old am I? I am 64 years old. All right. It says choose what to sync. I hate syncing. I don't want to sync nothing. If I sign into an account or whatever, I don't want to sync it to this machine. No, because if I have a compromise on one machine, that could technically compromise all my machines. Really? So I want to link them all together? No, wrong. Sorry, separate. Choose what to sync. Um, I don't want to sync nothing. I want to open my Gmail account. Okay. All right. So in getting all this stuff ready, um, I wasn't really going to get onto my I wasn't really going to get on tonight because I wanted another day or two to try to work out some bugs. And then I thought, nah, nah. I mean, there's enough people, folks, and stuff going on the internet that this is my third or fourth video. I hope you understand. I still am working out some bugs down here in the swamp. I have to call them tomorrow and see if I can get a little bit faster, a bigger pipe to run this internet thing through, you know. So, because my squirrels are, man, I'm talking about, I can hear them out there just a panting how hard they are on turning. Now, see, you new millennial folks might not get that. Squirrels in a cage turning a generator, and the generator is what's pumping my lights. Okay, never mind. Okay, let's see. Oh, it didn't do. See, and I didn't spell mail right. M-A-I-L. Next, I think. Oh, there's my picture. Let's see, my Gmail account, which is my, oh, I think it's that one. This stupid. I wished I hadn't set this up, but I, doggone it. Live.
No. Thank you for using Google Phone Verification. Remember, you should not share this code with anyone else, and no one from Google will ever ask for this code.
Because they change it.
The code is 465053. Again, your code is 465053. Goodbye.
And then you have to hit enter. Right? It says I'm me. How about that? All right, so all right, just looking down through my stuff. There's something about connecting the only office to my something to my account. There's not anybody watching, not that nobody will, but that's not where I was headed with that. Boy, this works a whole lot better than my other one. Oh, come on. As that speaker was like going nuts over here. Stern warning about satanic ritual abuse. Now, some of the things that I wanted to talk about into tonight's discussion kind of goes along with, you know, satanic rituals, things of that nature, because we're going to be talking with folks on the Kev Baker show, like to, and I love Kev Baker, man. You go to, what is it, Truth Frequency Radio, I believe it is, and check out what them folks is doing over there. They have Anthony Patch and some of them, they get on the program over there, and let me tell you, they some good sounding folk. I hope this works. I know sometimes fans will be a bother, and I'm hoping that it won't. But I'm still setting up here in my little area. But I was going to try to get by without using the fan. I hope that's not too loud. Man, ain't no really way to monitor it. All right, what I'm trying to do with this other computer is to log on to YouTube. See, at the same time that I'm doing this. See, and so this is the third time I've done this, so I'm a little new. But anyway, in going through my YouTube channels, which I hope that if you have found this video, you can go to my channel. Look at all of the liked videos that I have, and I got to fix that sucker right now. Now I'm here to tell you what. Change the date and time. It's October the 16th at 12:17. Yeah, that's about right. I got it. It's perfect. Wow, and I guessed. How about that? Others. Okay, so I want to change how this thing goes to sleep. Let's see. Where would I find that? Because every time all I got to do is just like stop for a second. What? Chest tightens? No, 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 no. No, sorry. Somebody else had my computer for a while, and yes, I did. I linked it to them, and while they were here in my house, man, boy, did they mess up some stuff on my computer. I'm like, how did you do that in 2 weeks' time? I mean, well, I just want to watch me some YouTube. That's a dadgum lie. Man, they did everything but watch YouTube, I believe. All right, let me see now. Let me get here to this thing and type in YOUTUBE. YouTube. All right. I'm going to go to this one, go to the main thing, and it's still loading. You know what? I forgot about that. Right, it's using its Wi-Fi, and I'm practically sitting on the Wi-Fi. It's downstairs, and I'm right upstairs. But I mean, it's like 2 foot in front of me and a foot down, maybe. And so, let me go, David. Oop. And this thing is slow. David, no. Yep. Enter. I want to see if this fan's making noise. Ew, look at that. I'm live right now. How about that mess? All right, let's go. Let's go see if I can listen. I probably sound like hell. And that's why, oh man, I have got some really good sound equipment. Soundboards. And at the moment, I can't use any of them because my other computer down there, Windows 10, messed it up. But I found something. I found something yesterday that I haven't tried yet. Oop, wait. If I'm live, then how come you didn't take me to it? Hey, dang mighty, there I am. Here we go. Let's see what it sounds like over on this thing. I'm sure it sounds like trash, but this is my second time, and I'm going to do better, I promise. One of the biggest things, though, I wanted to talk about, though, was that it's coming up here in just a second. There's going to be a time lag. Hey, dang mighty, there I am. Here we go. Let's see what it sounds like over on this thing. I'm sure it sounds like trash, but this is my second time, and I'm going to do better, I promise. One of the biggest things, though, I wanted to talk about, though, was that It's coming up here in just a second. There's going to be a time lag. Okay, I've been quiet all this time because I wanted to see if I could hear the fan. Here we go. Let's see what it sounds like over this thing. I'm sure it sounds like that. Talk about a loop-de-loop, right? All right, so. Second time, and I'm going to do better. I love playing with gizmos. I do. One of the big things I wanted to talk about, though, was that. All right, I'm muted. Yeah, the other thing I'm trying to get to is I want to be able to look at the chat. This machine doesn't have enough computing power to do chat. I can't watch myself and watch the chat. Can't split the windows up, at least not yet, on this Crow machine. So now I know why I watched Project Camelot a pretty good bit. Almost every one of Kerry Cassidy's interviews I've watched. There's some that I just didn't care for the subject matter, but all in all, Kerry Cassidy has some wonderful things, and her guests are very insightful and so forth. And but when she logs on, she's like, let me check my other computer. So she's diddling on one while she's trying to do the other thing, and now I get it. You have to have 3 computers because then you need to monitor something else over here on this side, and if this one's got a chat and that, well, anyway. So I'm over here to the other computer, and I'm trying to get this chat to work on this other computer. It looks like it's hanging up. Oh, okay, there it is. Tech issues. Oh, Lord, that thing is slow. Worked out. Oops. Boy, that machine is sluggish. I got a regular plug-in I'm going to plug into the router. I just haven't got done to it yet. All right, so anyway, I can at least monitor this now, which I wasn't able to do before. So thank you all very much. All right, so on with the topic. What I wanted to discuss was that I want something from RT and from Russia. And, you know, the United States, they're getting really whacked out on trying to start war with Russia. And I'm sorry, but we really don't have any reason to go to war with Russia. And we as Americans need to pay attention to this. We really do. We need to talk to our friends and our neighbors. Putin ain't trying to blow us up out of the water, but somebody else is. Who keeps yapping or yappy about, ooh, Russia ain't doing what we want them to do. Russia's not supposed to do what we want them to do. Russia's supposed to do what they think is best for themselves and their country, which is protect themselves. And if I was Putin and I had a bunch of blue helmet guys bringing missiles up to the edge of my country, I'd be wanting to practice war too. Now, they're saying, hey, y'all need to back off. Well, let Putin bring in some nukes and sit them down there across the border, down there in Mexico, and go, hey, we're just here protecting the Mexicans. How would we feel? We would be up in arms with that mess, but we live over here and not over there, so we don't understand. And that's bad on our part, because our leaders want to start war with them. Yeah. They want to push the nuke button. I'm 64 years old, and I remember when, Barry Goldwater, like in '68, was running against the Democrats, right? Oh, man, well, yeah, I will take care. Boom. Mushroom cloud. Yeah, buddy, scared the bejeebers out of us back in 1968, I'm telling you. That's when I started getting into the peace movement back then in the Vietnam War. Everybody's like, you're just nothing but a damn hippie. I didn't even know what a hippie was in 1968. I grew up in Tampa, Florida. Tampa, Florida don't go too much. Well, hippies wasn't a big thing back then in '68. It took 2 or 3 more years for hippies to hit the Tampa scene, as it were. But I digress. But to the point, though, in 1968, they were arguing about who was going to nuke whom. This is 50 years later, and they're still talking nukes. What happened to Reagan and Gorbachev and tear down that wall and we're all brothers and unite? Well, we got some idiots in our government. I'm talking about a full-fledged idjusts, IDJUTs, idjusts. They don't even qualify to have an idiot behind their name. That's how bad they are. Now, these folks are seriously about going to start war with Russia. Why? Because there's something that nobody else is talking about. And when I saw it on Russian television and when I saw it on this interview, I like to drop a gold cow. Do you know what they said on primetime Russian television? The reason, if America wasn't trying to start a war in Syria and Russia wasn't trying to start a war in Syria, did I get that right? America start war in Syria, Russia start war in Syria. If it isn't the two of them, then it must be the aliens. I will repeat that. I will try to put the link. I'll figure out how to put the link in. But it's Dabte's site, and he's got interviews of these folks and the transcripts from Russian to English of what they said. And in prime time, the key announcer, which would be like, I don't know, Brian Gumble or somebody we know. For me, in the old days, it would have been like Walter Cronkite or David Brinkley. You know, most of you folks probably won't know who they are, but Walter Cronkite was the guy who announced JFK being killed on CBS. So it would be like Walter Cronkite telling us that it's not Russia and it ain't the United States, it's the ETs that are warring with us in Syria. And they have proof. The Russians do. Because the Russians have a special agency that takes care of alien issues, such as rays coming down and trying to blow stuff up. And now, do you think, let's just take Lester Holt, for example, the moderator for the Trump-Clinton debacle thing. Oh, was that ridiculous? Imagine if at a commercial break, Lester Holt said, you know, Mrs. Clinton, Mr. Trump, I believe that the true reason that Russia and America are at odds are because we won't discuss the fact that aliens from outer space are attacking places in Syria. And then go to commercial. How many people do you think would just, you know, a gold brick? Are you kidding me? I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm serious as a heart attack. Now, I believe in aliens because I've had my own experiences. I've had my own stuff. One reason why I'm starting this channel is because folks up there told me I needed to start opening my mouth and discuss some of these things because people, there's stuff going on that's really real and really cool, but ain't nobody telling us. For real, real. Now, it was 2 months ago that let me stay on the Russia thing for a minute. Or two. Now, I got myself so worked up, I got to have a cigarette. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. Let's see, wait. It's DS AHK is the YouTube channel. I'm gonna look it up over here while I'm doing this. It says I got one viewer. Cool beans. I'm on Hangouts. If you want to BS. If not, howdy howdy. But what I'm telling you is the truth. And one of the big issues that has been coming out for the last several years has been the Disclosure Project with Greer and all them folks, in the UFO communities about we need full disclosure about all the ATs. Well, you can bet. And see, howdy. Oh, that's me. Yeah, the glasses do a glare thing, and anyway, you might have to turn that light. Hang on half a second. That's a little too bright. I don't want to make myself dark, but at the same time, oh, that's much better. Yeah, okay. I guess it's been almost 15 years ago now that Greer and them got together about the leak project. I'm sorry, Disclosure Project, and how all the good scientists, astronauts, and scientists, have seen their own ETs. I mean, I've got video I'm hoping to get up here on the internet. I'm a second shift, third shift person. I used to work radio in the old days when radio was radio. Nothing was digital. We all had records and things. I'm a disc jockey from the old days playing, AM top 20 in the morning time drive show. You wouldn't believe what I know, but it's true. So this is my attempt to get back into radio by being on the internet. Okay, so I got my own show. Big deal. It's not for me. It's about the information. All right, so the information is real clear. They've been trying to get this information out for years and years and years. Now, I grew up down in Tampa, Florida, which is the home of MacDill Air Force Base. Now, people that say, ain't nothing going on in MacDill, but I want to tell you, there's some funky stuff that goes on out there. And MacDill is at the tail end of Tampa, there in the bay. And it's surrounded by three sides by water. All right. Now, MacDill is back in the Vietnam days. I want to get this right. There's strategic air command and there's tactical air command. One's got bigger things. Anyway, almost every airplane that came back from Vietnam came through MacDill. I didn't know this until after the fact, but during the 9/11 stuff and some of the drone attacks and so forth that was going on after the fake 9/11 from the bomber, the airplanes hit the buildings, which is untrue. There's so much evidence that that's not true. It's pathetic. That they were using underground facilities there at MacDill, which I was like, underground facilities at MacDill? Really? Well, as a Boy Scout, we went out to MacDill way back when the Vietnam War was going on in the mid-60s, right? This would have been about 63, 64, somewhere in there. And we stayed the night out there. We knew somebody back in the day, and they took us out, and we bivouacked in the tents, and they showed us what Air Force life was. And we even got a chance to go sit in with the airmen. We went through the lines and ate with them. I mean, it was really cool. It really was. And I was like, yeah, buddy, because I'm interested in aeronautics since I was a little guy. So we got a chance to go out there, and they were doing practice runs of dropping napalm. Jelly gasoline. Oh, man. That stuff is not, forgive the pun, sort of, but man, what a bomb. Talk about a bomb. Devastating and horrific at the same time. Well, we got to see those, and, and chit-chatting with the commander guy that was taking us around. He was at least a lieutenant. I want to say he was more in the captain, colonel. I do not know military. I'm sorry, I was not in the military. Many of my family, including my granddaughter, have been in the military, but I have not because of physical ailments from football. Not that I didn't want to go in Vietnam. I wanted to be a Marine. Semper Fi, gentlemen. Didn't make it. I don't try to be a Marine, but I wanted to be one. So, band of brothers. Many of my friends were Marines. Some of them still are, meaning they're still alive. So there were things that went on out there at MacDill Air Force Base that, kind of got a lot of us, scratching our heads. There's a place on Tampa Bay that you could go that there's a park there, at least there used to be, and it was like almost to the entrance of MacDill. It was just pretty much as far as you could get without running into the airbase. Well, we'd go out there, and at the time, I don't know if it's still there, but at the time there used to be a dock up here, and we'd go out there and fish, sometimes all night long, Back then in the day, we'd take some weed and go out there, in the early 70s, late 60s, we'd smoke some weed and go out and go fishing. Nobody bothered us. We'd sit out there all night long with a lantern, catch fish, and do whatever. But while you're sitting out there, especially back in them days when there weren't near as many lights as there are now, you talk about some funky stuff go flying out across the bay out there. And I'm talking in 1965, 6, 7. Well, in 67, 68, I had my own driver's license and I could drive. And I had a girlfriend that lived down that area. And we used to go and sit in the park, go mooching, and go out on the pier. And there were things that happened when I dated a girl, and we would sit out there and go, I wonder what that is. Well, that was way before all this UFO stuff. But it wasn't jet airplanes, because jet airplanes don't go fly in circles, and they don't stop in midair and go up and down. I know what a helicopter is. They buzz my house all the time. I know what a helicopter is, meaning they buzz the house all the time in Tampa. Not a helicopter, not any other kind of aircraft. And there were even times where I even called up radio stations. Let's see, it was Channel 8, and I can't remember anyway, WFLA, Channel 8, something else. I can't remember the other one. Channel 13. Yeah, there you go. Shock Armstrong, the All-American Ghoul, Friday nights at 11:30. So I even called up the airbase several times. And it got to the point where one of the guys actually, hey, you that kid that called last week? And I was like, well, yeah. Well, tell me what's this stuff flying around. There ain't nothing going on. Just go back to bed, kid. There's 5, 6 of us kids in the neighborhood going, man, that ain't no airplane. I'm telling you, this was before 1970. MacDill, Tampa, down there. All right. Well, since that time, I've had my experiences. I've had some that I think happened. I'm pretty sure they happened. There are too many details that are like crystal clear. And yeah, I have dreams, and then there are the dreams that you can't forget. So I don't want to get into that, but I do want to get into the point that I believe there really are ET folks, hands down. I believe absolutely that there are benevolent ones. Otherwise, this planet would already be destroyed. We would have, things growing off the side of our neck. Now, out in Mexico and Dulce and places, there are stuff like that going on. And somebody asked me today, as a matter of fact, they said, Dave, you talk this conspiracy theory all the time. How come you think that this ET stuff could actually be real? Simple. When I took biology in 1968, Tampa Catholic High School, Coach Tom Murray, open up your biology books. Back then it was there was embryos, and there was the sequence of what the baby looked like as they were getting older. I can't think of the word right now, but So there's an egg, and there's a thing, and then it turns into this, and then, oh, by the way, it looks like a tadpole for a while. Excuse me? Yeah, the fetus looks like a tadpole for a couple of weeks. A tadpole? Yep, cootie with a tail. Yep. Look, guys, we were tadpoles, literally. We had tails. Up to so many weeks. Every single one of us, unless you got goofy in your DNA, but every single one of us had a tail as a fetus. And at some point, a genetic marker went, oops, you're not going to be a lizard today. We decided you're going to be a human being, and now your DNA is going to follow this code. Now, anybody that doesn't believe this, then you didn't study biology, and you never went to biology class. All you got to do is Google embryos in the early stages of a human's life and look at yourself as a tadpole. Right? Right? Yeah, right. You can't disagree because it's there. That's the proof. David Icke over in England, UK, seems like a wonderful gent. In fact, we're very... he talks about synchronicity a lot. And I think to myself, well, both of our names are David. Both of us played football. Both of us had injury type things. Now his was different. He actually made it out of high school and into pro sports, where I didn't make it out of high school without an injury. Both of us had incidents. Both of us had, like, well, he took I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this right, but bear with me, ayahuasca, something like that, DMT. Anyway, for me, I had LSD. It wasn't on purpose. It was by mistake, completely, honest to God, it was completely by mistake. Because the girl kept looking at me going, oh, wow, man. Oh, no, don't drink all that. I was like, no, I'm really thirsty. I'll give you some. And she goes, oh, that's electric Coke, man. Oh, man. Oh, gee whiz. Yeah, I drank a Coke that had a 4-way hit of white sunshine. Yep, Thanksgiving in 1970. And that changed my life. Boy, I'll tell you. But he had an experience that was later on in life. However, his experience in a lot of ways was exactly mind-opening. And if you've ever taken any kind of hallucinogenic, and I don't mean just, let's see, like a crystal meth or something like that. I used to be a drug addict horrifically. I tried needles early on and knew that if I ever put another needle in my arm, that I would not make it out of the gutter. I almost tried heroin once and realized that I would not live if I did because of my addictive behavior. So, but everything else I tried back in the day, I mean, I'd take 3 hits of acid in one day, you know, and that was like a normal thing on the weekend. Woo! How we drove around and didn't get killed or killed somebody else, for the life of me, I got a guardian angel, you know. Well, so David Icke had an experience. So did I. Synchronicities. What are the types of things? Well, what does he talk about? He talks about the Queen being a reptilian. Right. If you've not heard of David Icke, you should check him out. Listen to some of his stuff. Whether or not he talks about the Queen turning into a reptile or morphing is beyond the point. Don't listen to that part if it gets you too weird. Everything else he says, though, is absolutely valid and to the point and right on, and you should listen. At least to be able to think to yourself, you know, that SOB's got a point. God damn, he just might be right about that one. Holy crap. Now, whether or not the Queen can morph into a reptilian, I have a tendency to believe that she can, simply because of the different it's her demeanor. It's how she looks sometimes. Oh, they take a picture of the Queen. She's all nice and matronly. Oh, dear heart. Oh, lovely to see you today. Oh, did you get that gown at JC Penney's? You know, and then there's the other one. And there's something about that face that just sends chills up and down my spine. And then David Icke I started listening to him a good while back, but to the point. Then he spoke up about the Queen being able to, you know, change into a reptile. Or actually go, not change into, but go back to, actually. So, but is it really that difficult to imagine? Well, you ever heard of the cuttlefish? Check it out. Some of those cuttlefish, oh my God, they can change colors, they can disappear, and I'm talking right in front of you. Just like an octopus. Can squirt, can change, can morph, and you wouldn't know that they're not part of that rock. So, where in the universe does it say that a chameleon or a lizard that you pull the tail off of or something, he grows his tail back? I would like to grow my teeth back. We did it once as children into adulthood. Most adults have issues with their teeth. It might be because we were supposed to have already replaced them by now, and somehow that gene got shut off. Because if I could have new teeth come in, it's embarrassing. It's horrible. It's terrible. And and by the way, for any of you on Social Security who think you're going to get your teeth fixed when you get up, forget it. Nope. They won't give you $1 towards getting your teeth fixed. And dentists, listen to me. You all are going to hell first. I don't know one single dentist. Now, I ain't saying there aren't, but I have not met, and I have looked, not one single dentist that'll help a person out with their mouth. Not one. Pay up now. $150 a tooth to pull it. If I have any trouble, it's $2. And if I have any more trouble and got to do a cut or maybe put a stitch in, it's $225 to $250 per tooth. Well, I've got 10 left in nasty condition. That's $250 times 10. That's $2,500 just to get these bad teeth out of my mouth. I've already pulled 3 and I'm working on the 4th. Well, I saved myself $400 at least. Go figure. I got one more to go, and then I can't get the rest of them. But dentists, not covered Social Security. You don't hear of dentists going, we're going to give you free dental care today. One day a month, if somebody's got an issue, free dental care. Where have you ever heard of a dentist? They've got it locked up. They have got it locked up. The Dental Association of America, insert long string of cuss words here. Record practice virus, that. Dentist. That's what I think of you. Now, back to Russia and the aliens. Yeah, thought I'd forgot about that, huh? Nah. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. There, especially like, for example, with the cosmic wave that's coming in from the galaxy. And NASA would like to explain that it is, well, by golly, it just doesn't exist. It's just a figment of some of y'all's imaginations. It doesn't really exist at all. No, some conspiracy theorists thought it up and decided to tell you, everything that's happening these days, it's all because of some cosmic force in the universe. Guess what, guys? It really is. You can go out to the SOHO satellites and the other ones that are monitoring the sun and the planets and stuff like that. You can see the cosmic waves coming in. It's not like hard to see them on these satellites because they look at things in so many different spectrums of light. Just like the satellites, they look at the Earth patterns and weather patterns and whether or not they can see sulfur dioxide or carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. They just push it. You can do it. In fact, it's called like null sky or something like that, and you can go out there and look at all the different satellites and just push the button, click on the thing, and it'll show you the different IR frequencies, like a radio frequency, basically bouncing it off of the atmosphere, and they get different readings. Different densities will show up differently on their instruments. Well, if you look at some of the waves that are coming, I want to say it's the Sechi satellite. Now, one of these days, I'm going to get these computers to be able to, so I can click on it and take you to the site but this little Chromebook just won't do it. So I'm sorry, I can't take you there. But I'm telling you, go look at the Setchi satellites. I've got pictures, I've got video I'm going to try to upload where I have taken them, but 4 minutes of video with this machine takes an hour to upload to YouTube. 4 minutes. And that was in the evening. So, you know, I'm doing this live because I can't record it and upload it. It would never load. So I've decided to just start doing stuff live. And then that way I don't have to worry about uploading, downloading, whatever. If I make a mistake, I'm sorry. I can always go back in and take it down or chop something out or whatever. But anyway, so, oh, how long have I been on here? Okay, almost an hour. Holy crap. So Putin and the ETs. Putin has been dropping. He hasn't been dropping hints. He's been dropping bombshells. It's just that we're not allowed to hear it. So if you should go check out not google.us, but google.uk. Do the dot for different countries. And then do searches, because they have their little programs that keep us from looking for stuff in Russia here in America. Oh yeah, you can type it in and you might get a little something on page 9,562, but it ain't going to pop up in the first 500 pages. If you want to see something, then go to the UK or the different countries and their Google sites or their Bing or whatever their sites are to search. I'm sorry, not sites, but search engines. There, let me get that right. Now, also, which brings up the thing about, did America do the right thing by turning over the internet to all them crazy foreigners? Guess what? Russia announced today. I said something the other night on my video. I said we should all get together and do a class action suit and sue Bill Gates for what he did to our machines with Windows 10 upgrade, knowing that a Windows 7 would not have the correct drivers that Windows 10 did. So Windows 10 deleted mine, installed theirs, which won't work on my hardware, and I'm stuck with a machine down here and $10,000 worth of software and equipment. I can't use it because Windows, Billy Gates, killed my machine. And for the last year, I've been struggling trying to get things back around. And being on limited Social Security, which they stole half my Social Security from me too, that's another story. I have this nice little HP Chromebook. Slow. But we're doing it. We're here. We're doing it, right? The important thing is we got to get the information out. We got to get folks to understand that this ET stuff is not, oh, ha, ha, let's laugh about it. No, we need to pay attention. Seriously pay attention. The war in Syria, why do we want to go to war? It's not we. They're trying to keep the fact, and there are some really good videos out there. I think Secure Team 10 has a few. There's a couple of other UFO. It's type in UFO first in your YouTube search. UFO FINO, Finney or something like that. They've got some good ones too. And they will show you guys in Afghanistan, supposedly, where an obvious spaceship goes by with guys standing there with their rifles and a jet behind them. Or there was one that there were two spacecraft, a round one and a triangular one, and they were doing back and forth through this valley. And if that was fake, I don't know who faked it. I watch a lot of sci-fi, and I've never seen that video before. I've not seen anything like that video before. And what you can hear in the background of one of these videos sounds like these soldiers are going like, what the fuck, what the hell is that? Oh my God. You know, Do they exist? We need to say yes. We need to stop this poo-pooing around about ETs don't exist. We need to stop that mess, period. The next thing we need to do is go, okay, so they do exist. Now what? All right, so what do these guys have been hiding since Roswell? Well, after World War II, if you know anything about it, Project Paperclip, we brought all the Germans over here along with some of their technology. We've had a secret space program since the 1950s, since I was born in 52. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have been seriously lied to. And what's happening now is the folks that have been controlling the planet Earth, for what I understand, has been quite a while now. And if you hear about the cabal, George Bush and Hillary Clinton and all them guys really are attached to this stuff. Because I watched George W. Sr. on television say, the New World Order is coming, and it will be the rule of law. Wait. It will be the rule of law, not the law of the land. And he looked right at the camera and he said, and we will succeed. And grinned. It gave me chills back then. I have seen it since. He wasn't joking, and they ain't either. And they're pulling stuff right now that's just plumb, they're insane. Let's be serious. They're insane. Why would anybody want to murder anyone else for any reason? Hillary and Obama, when they go out on the drone strikes, and they were sitting in the little thing going, oh yeah, man, we blew them up. That's just not, you're getting off on sitting there playing a video game when you're really, really killing people. People are dying because of you. I can't pull that trigger. That's one reason why I didn't pursue trying to go into the Army, Navy, Marines, whatever. When I will defend my country on this earth, meaning this land, the Native Americans who are up at Standing Rock, up in Dakotas, the Lakota Sioux, bless their hearts, and all the other nations that have come together, they are standing for a purpose, a nonviolent purpose. But you don't think them folks won't fight? You ain't seen fighting until you seen them get down in the dirt. Me too. Me too. But I don't fight. I won't fight. I haven't fought unless I had to. And you don't want to see me fight, even at my age. Because something comes out of me that goes wacko. That's why I'm a redneck hippie. Because there's something built in me that says, dude, you better not. You know, now I'll talk nice and calm and let's see if you and me, we can come to a mutual agreement. But if it looks like we're fixing to turn it on, and if it looks like you're going to take that swing or you already have, and if you ain't knocked me out, you better. Because all bets are off then. If you attack me, I don't know, call it somewhere in a previous life, I was definitely, I'm not saying that I was with King Arthur, but I did a play years ago in community theater. It was a really big community theater, and we had a really big, full-blown grand opening, opening performance, grand opening performance of a musical that had never been performed for by a gentleman from from Florida State University, a renowned musical guy from down there. We performed it, put it through, and all this, called The Vikings. Well, in that, he had the gentleman from the theater department at Florida State to teach us sword fighting, because we were using real swords. No plastic stuff about it. These things were the real deal, Bubba. And heavy. Well, we had to do the paring, thrust, right, down, cut, round, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. Some of us had shields, some of us didn't. But we were taught sword fighting. And as I picked up the sword and started to do it, it was almost like from somewhere, it wasn't clumsy to me. The only thing that was clumsy was the weight of the sword at the time. I was like, wow, these things really are heavy. But as far as once I got the little bit of the, okay, I got the weight thing down, it didn't bother me. It was too easy for me to sword fight. So I know that at some point it feels like in a previous life I was a bad dude and that I knew how to sword fight. And I knew how to defend. Maybe I was a crusader. Maybe I was with the King Arthur, but I was a grunt. I'm not saying I was sitting at the round table. But there's too many memories locked way down deep inside. Somewhere I was in the medieval times, Middle Ages. And so, but with that, berserkers come to mind. I can't remember the movie. It was something about Vikings, though. This guy was great. He was from the berserker. His whole family were berserkers, you know. And his hair is all crazy, crazy, you know. And he was like, calm down. And so they had to keep this berserker guy quiet. And I think in a way it was sort of like that. He was fine until you like triggered him, boom, and then he was nasty. So where am I? I'm off tangent again on that. We need to look inside ourselves and say, what do we think is real? What do we think is the truth? RET's real? Look at all the movies they've been showing us over the years. I watched one the other night. It was 1988, and it had something to do with how. And I just watched a talk on this yesterday about quantum entanglement and quantum physics and how they have figured that it doesn't matter if there's a quantum particle here and a quantum particle on the other side of the galaxy. If you trigger this one right, that one goes off, doesn't matter how far away, at the exact same moment. That's faster than the speed of light. Quantum mechanics. 1988, I can't remember the name of the movie. I'll have to try to go back through my YouTube history. It was on YouTube. But that they discussed the quantum mechanics of how this transporter thing was working and how it got folks from this point to this point. And this was a B-class sci-fi movie. And the physics was spot on. In 1988, I didn't even know that they knew what a quark was or that they knew what quantum entanglement was in 1988. 98, 2008, almost 30 years ago. Oh, 28 years ago. Holy moly. So here's a 25-year-old movie plus talking quantum entanglement, which is really real. Dark energy does not exist. It's clear energy. It's not dark. The reason it's dark is because when you look out into space, it's dark. The energy's not dark. It's what you see is dark. You're seeing through the energy. It's not dark energy, it's clear energy. It's so clear that it appears black. Like it looking deep into the ocean, over a deep hole. It'll be dark blue, and then it'll just turn black if the hole's deep enough. And I've been diving in some of the springs around Florida and stuff, and a couple of them are that deep where you look down, it ain't, your light just stops. It just don't go any further. And I've had a beam that was good for 500 feet. Of course, I was inside a cave about 100 feet below the surface in a hole that was 20 feet across, a chimney, straight down, water colder than snot. And I got myself tied with a rope. I got my gear on, I had my headlamp, and I got this underwater power beam. Because at the time I was the smallest one to get into this spot and look down into that thing. When I slipped over the edge, and I was sitting hunched over with the cave and my legs were dangling over the edge of this big round hole, just cut right down through the rock, right? And I got my beam, and I got it above the water, but I'm getting a reflection. So I put the beam just in the water, that much, so that I'm not getting a reflection off of the water. A 500-foot beam just quit. So I went over the side and down over the edge. And as soon as my head went under the water and I come back up, I'm not afraid of water or anything like that. I'm tied off with a rope. There's 3 guys up there, and the rope's as big around, so I ain't worried. I like to freak out. One of the creepiest, freakiest times of my life. I'm 150 feet below ground, a mile back in a cave, and I'm in a cramped-in little spot that's only this big, and I'm the only one that can get through it. Even if they can't pull me up, what happens if I get stuck? So I was ready to come out as soon as I got in that thing. Well, so Mother Earth has a lot of wonders. A lot of things go on. And so with the wonders of Mother Earth, I realized that there are wonders above us as below that we don't know about. But just because we don't see them don't mean that they're not there. If I tell people that there's a 20-foot round chimney that's deeper than 500 feet below Cairo, Georgia, they're going to go, yeah, sure, yeah. No, shit. It's really there, man. I've been in it. But I couldn't take any pictures. Nobody else. Well, they could see it. But, I mean, they didn't see it because they couldn't get into the same spot. Does it exist? Yes. Can anybody else see it if they want to? Yeah, if you want to crawl down in that cave, I'm sure it's still there. So I doubt if it's caved in. But is anybody else going to believe me? Dave, did you really see that thing back then? Man, in 1987, you said you went down and went to that. Yes, I did. 1987, with a group of 8 other guys. We wanted to do a dive expedition down there and take tanks and everything and see how far down that thing actually went. It never happened, but that's beyond the point. The point of the matter is we tried. We did map it for a long way before Florida State guys went in there. And from what I understand, that cave goes all the way to Bainbridge underground from Cairo, Georgia. So, big cave system under there on private land. Very few people know about it. And I have spent days under there, under the ground in these caverns. Days. I have been down in the cave 11 times. Several of those has been like for a day and a half. We don't come out for like the second day, on the second day towards the end. Could have stayed longer, but you get tired. And muddy. You just can't get the mud off. You just can't get the mud off. Nowadays, there are things that I would do that I would take care of that, but we went down and we made it for the time that we were down there. But are there caves? Big caverns, huge caverns under South Georgia and North Florida? Yeah. If you go to Florida caverns, that ain't nothing. That's just a little. Somebody said, why won't you go to Florida caverns? And it's because they're babies. Well, I think Florida caverns is neat. Well, if you went into Climax Cave, you would think you wouldn't want to go to pay money to go into Florida caverns. Not that you shouldn't, mind you. That's not my point. My point is that they're little bitty compared to these miles of caves that I've been in. Okay. All right. So I got off the topic again with Russia and Putin, and I didn't mean to. But it has to do with just because you don't see it, don't mean it isn't real. All right. And those things I've seen, I know are real. So the things that I saw 2 months ago when I went to Ohio to visit my first wife, my daughter's mother was in intensive care with heart problems. And we went up there on an emergency mission to go see about her. And got up there. I remember my daughter had taken me to a place, and I couldn't believe it, but it had been 10 years before the last time I was up there in Ohio. So I was like, I lost all my pictures and everything when I was up here before. And I said, your mama's okay. She's going to come home. In fact, the night that I went out to this site was the night they brought her home, and she has a one-bedroom apartment. A lot of people there trying to help move it back in and everything. It was just time for us to just get out of the way. So we went to this site. And it's a petroglyph site. I'm not going to mention it because I can't remember it at the moment. But all you got to do is do petroglyph, Ohio. That's where I went. It's out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of cornfields. Beautiful country up there. I didn't realize how beautiful Ohio really was. Beautiful country. Got there, it's late at night. Well, the sun went down. The sun was down. 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. Couldn't find it. Got lost on the dirt roads. Finally found it. A good friend of mine. And I went there to take pictures of these petroglyphs. Because to me, when I saw them the first time, I was like, that little one right there, that dude there, that's an alien. I'm sorry, but it's an alien. Oh, no, he ain't. That's the eyeballs of something else. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but no. You know, if you turn this picture around and you want to say that that's the feed or he's part of something, I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Well, while I was there taking pictures, my friend is an intuitive, and she starts saying, Dave, I've got some people here that, well, there's some people here. I knew what she was speaking about. And I said, can you describe the entities? She goes, well, I'd kind of rather not. I didn't come here to do that. But because she tries not to, she sees too much. So she tries not to look at any of it. She sees it all. She sees dead people, quite frankly. So, Dave, but I'm told that they want to make my presence known. So she describes 4 of these entities. One of them was a woman entity who happened to be a fae, of all things. Fae. F-A-E. Not necessarily fairy, but fae. And her name escapes me. I've got it wrote down on this computer in there. And she was the wife of Poseidon. And as a matter of fact, in one of the things, and I haven't been able to find it since, which is odd, but we Googled it like as soon as we got back in the car, and she had it on her cell phone, right? And she goes, oh my God. This entity representing the Fae had always had 2 cats to follow her around as, I can't think of the word. Familiars, there you go. But also as protectors, okay? Warning signs and protectors. What do we do when we get there? When we got there, we didn't know. It was after the fact, as we're leaving, that she stopped the car and looked at me in the dark and went, oh shit. There were 2 cats there. Playing. Waiting for us. Walking through my legs. Coming over and being nice. Now you just assume, well, the cats were left there. Yeah, okay. However, these cats were associated with the entity Queen of the Fae. Coincidence? Well, it's 1 o'clock at night now. Now, I don't have that particular gift. I've been beaten in the head a lot of times. There are times that I see things, but I'm not quite sure. And I think it's my mind is trying to assimilate that there's a difference in the force where I'm looking or something. Now, I have absolutely had ghosts manifest themselves and save me and my family from a burning house. Do I believe in ghosts? Yes. Do I believe in other entities? Absolutely. Do I believe that there are things beyond this life that we don't see? Absolutely. And I'm hoping that other people will understand this, because it will help them with their understanding of who God is. And I think Mr. Putin and the Russians have a good idea of who God is. Why do I say that? See, I brought it back around to Putin, didn't I? It's because of I gotta say it, my ET contact that night in Ohio. Because I was told to take my digital camera. I was told it come in from this side, in my head, audible but not through my ear. Put your camera on this setting, Hawkeye. Put the flash on a retarded flash thing. Point it in this direction and pull the trigger. Well, on my other hard drive, which I'm trying to get them out, and I'm going to post pictures. In fact, maybe I need to put them in as like a narrative. I took pictures of sphere beings, globes, orbs. I'm going to call them sphere beings. And the reason I say that is because I've seen orbs. I've got pictures of orbs. Over many years, I've got pictures of orbs. I have orbs from my backyard down on the Little Ochlockonee River, where I have a special river camp. And I've done ceremonies down there in the Native American traditional type of ceremony with drumming, sage, and a lot of intensive prayer and meditation, fasting, etc. And I have seen jinn, I have seen the shadow beings, and in that I have seen other creatures, and I have seen glimpses of the orbs with my eyes during these ceremonies. Now, I have taken pictures of them with my video camera. I'm sorry, digital camera. I haven't got them on video yet, but I do have them on still pictures. Now, why do I bring this up? Okay. Every other place that I have been suggested, as it were, to point your camera over here with these particular settings, pitch black, no lights, and you have to set your digital camera to have the shutter stay open a while. You can't move, got to hold still. So I use a tripod or a table or something. I also use a timer so that I can hit it, stand back, and let it flash. You can also get in the picture sometimes. So, but every other picture I've taken, and I've got a bunch over the years, some of them are on my, oh yeah, some of them on my Facebook page, actually. Go to David Null, Facebook, look for my mud. There are orbs there. All the pictures that I've taken of orbs, they were all of different colors. Greens and blues and oranges and some red. And there's a place on the Flint River near here, 30 miles that way. I took pictures one night, and I would ask, I've been there several times and taken pictures of these orbs many times. So after a while, I started talking to them once I knew that they were there. And so I took my drum, my native drum, and I said, you know, I'm going to come and I will drum for you. And I will meditate, I will just drum calmly and sit, let's visit, and know that I'm an entity that is not here to harm any of you. I do not wish any harm on any of you. And now I understand that my job here on this earth is to help some of these light beings, literally, who've been trapped here because of previous things. It's time for all of us to move to another plane. Now, I didn't know this until recently, okay? That's why I'm on YouTube now, all right? I didn't want to say any of this. I don't want to speak out in public. I don't want to talk about having to go save sphere beings who are trapped here on the earth, and that I catch them with my digital camera. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to talk to these sphere beings, and that my job here on earth is to go tell them, hey guys, earth is changing. We need to go with it. And if any of you still have too much negative energy in you, you need to clean that up because you ain't going to make it. And those of you who have been waiting a long time, please, your time's almost up. Now, that's what I've been told. That's nuts. So, to the point about taking pictures of the orbs. Every other time I've taken pictures of the orbs, there's always been red and orange ones in there. Very few sapphire blues. And the sapphire blue ones, though, are like I'm in love with. The peace and the serenity in those sapphire colored orbs. The red ones, I wanted to take a crap on myself and run like hell. Seriously. And I've seen some nasty shit. So, I'm in Ohio and I'm taking pictures of these orbs as instructed by another being who is speaking to me, because the lady who's talking with the two cats and the fae are telling me that there are these other three, two of them man type energies, not necessarily forms, and then one, the best she could put it was androgynous, not male or female, both, not a transgender thing, nope, an entity with both male and female feelings and energies and that type of thing. So, okie doke. Every single one of the orbs that I took pictures of at that place up in Ohio, every single one of them were sapphire blue. Every single one. All of them sapphire blue. I'm sorry, I'm whispering. All of them sapphire blue. All of them. And when I get the pictures uploaded, you're going to go, oh, holy crap. All of them are. There's no shades of green. Now, there are, and I want to say that some of them just were more opaque, and more of them were more solid. In fact, I'm looking at the, what's that, right? Nah, that doesn't show up as blue. Nah, I was going to say well, there it is. It's adjusted its color. The blue right there, all right. That was like that's the dark blue of some of the orbs that I saw. All right. That's what they look like. Those orbs were, well, I've got a navy blue shirt on. Yeah, navy blue. Well, you can't tell. I turned the light down, and that's a compact fluorescent. And anyway, we're getting differences of light right here. So here's the point. There was only a variation of shade. They were all blue. They were all a sapphire-ish kind of blue. But like I said, there were those that were the deeper color, but they still had that sapphire kind of tint to them, maybe. So, how do I keep tying this into Putin? It's the fact that they were telling me 2 months ago the reason they were speaking to me, and the reason that they had like woke me up when I got to Ohio. I was not supposed to go to Ohio. I mean, I knew 6 hours before I left. That's how, hey, we're going to Ohio it was. We packed stuff in the car and left. Boom. That was it. No planning. No, I mean, we didn't even have any money when we left, honest to God. My relatives up there got a care package together for us. And while we were in Ohio, my daughter got her paycheck, which her boss in Florida arranged, blah, 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 blah. So we were took care of, but that wasn't the point. We left with $30 between us, heading for Ohio, and the only thing good we had was a full tank of gas. Well, we made it there. Very little problems small issues, everything worked out. Mostly the issues that we had were because of tiredness. People just 25 hours in a car, you know, that kind of thing. The stress of my mother could be dying. Am I going to get there on time? All kinds of things. I left Putin again, didn't I? Man, I'm practicing. When I go to talk in the future, I need to stay on topic better. There was a synchronicity there that was like needed, because in my spiritual journey, in my spiritual growth, there have been times when I would go, you know, I do believe these things, but I'm having dreams to where I'm supposed to start a YouTube station. I'm supposed to start a YouTube channel, and I'm supposed to put this out to 7 billion people in the world who want to watch it if they do. That I, Hawkeye Two Feathers, have spoke with space beings, and they're telling me that yes, I should watch and pay attention to the Russians and Putin. Yes, there really is a war going on in space and here on the Earth. Yes, all of this is true, and here's proof. Turn around and take these pictures of my fellow beings who are here with me. Holy crap. Now, do I believe? Yeah. Because I turned around and took pictures of the orbs. I believe because my friend, I almost slipped out her name. I won't say her name because she hadn't given me permission. But anybody that knows me could figure it out, but that's not the point. She gave me details, and then I took the details she gave me, and she basically went back to the car to take a nap because what she was seeing was too much. She was really way tired, and I needed just, not that she was bothering me, but I just wanted peace and quiet to myself. Nobody else around, just whatever spot I needed to get in my head, to just let the spirits talk to me. Let me take the pictures of the petroglyphs on the rock, the way the rock was chipped in certain places. Oh yeah, I don't know if anybody saw that part, but I did. And it had to do with the way I was taking pictures, because I was using different settings, and it was the way the shadows in the pictures helped define some of the petroglyphs. And in a couple of places, someone has tried to absolutely destroy whatever was there. And it ties into a particular spot where I was told there was a little depression in the rock. I was told that if I did the right things in the right succession, and if I sat down with my butt planted in that spot that kind of looked a little carved out a little bit, if I put my butt there and sat down, that it was a jump room. It was a jump seat to someplace else. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, sure. No, pay attention to Hawkeye. I'm telling you that if you read the inscriptions here, the reason the inscriptions are here is because if you sit in this spot, you can go someplace else. I ain't told nobody this, not even my friend, I don't think. Because, like, she's going to believe that now I'm talking to an alien. She might believe that. But now I'm talking to an alien who's giving me instructions on how to do the camera, and he's telling me that Putin's right. He's telling me that Russians aren't bad people. They're, you know, this is 2 months ago, and I've already kind of see things going, but In these last 2 months, things have escalated beyond belief. My space alien friends tell me Putin's on our side. We need to support him. We do not need to go to war with this man. No. Mr. Putin, I, David Null, Hawkeye Two Feathers, am on your side. I and whoever I'm talking to and whoever's been with me, my prayers are with you. My shield, my strength, my attachment, my source, my connection to source, the God source. Yes, I'm with you. I can't be there in person, but I am with you in spirit. I'm saying so in this venue on the internet. Someone else can watch it if they wish. Dante, if you ever come across this video, dude, I just feel like you're my brother from another time, and we have fought together. I do not know if that's true, but Dante, my brother, thank you for everything that you have shown. I'm still got questions about Mother Mary that I haven't been able to sort out yet, but that will be for another time. But now, Mr. Putin, and for the FBI and any of you other monkeys out there that want to be listening to this mess, you guys need to be paying attention too. If you're working for the Dark Force, your days are numbered. You ain't going to make it. You're not going to make it. You might make it. Let me rephrase this. You're not going to win in the end. You might make it for a short time and think you got it. You ain't got it. Jesus Christus. Cristal. Jesus. Yeah, he be real. Michael, the angels, yeah, they're all real. And they're not going to allow. They're not going to allow it. They're not going to allow it. Because what you folks are trying to do with opening the portal to the bottomless pit, I don't have any teeth, that's why I can't speak correctly. I used to get awards for public speaking. It's difficult to speak with no teeth. Clearly, anyway. So, for those of you who might be working for the Dark Force, repent. Just give it up to the light. Really. You're not going to make it through this next frequency change. You're not. Because in order to be ascended, a lot of people talking about the rapture. It's not what I'm talking about. Y'all folks, in the rapture, I'm really sorry, but you're not going. There ain't none. You got the wrong idea of what rapture is. Rapture is waking up to the fact that the God that you've been taught is not the God that's real. There's an even better God. Can you imagine? I was brought up a Catholic, but can you imagine? And look, I'm not berating any religion. Don't even go there. I'm just saying Baptist because there's a lot of Baptists around down here in South Georgia, down here in the South, period. And there are Methodists and so forth, but a lot of Baptists. Now, just say that you as a Baptist have been brought up all these years that God is actually sitting on a throne. He is a person, white beard, etc., and he's just sitting there and he ain't got nothing else to do but sit there all day long and worry about us. If that's your concept of God, it's more than that. They haven't told you the whole truth. And it might be because they don't know the whole truth. Why do I say this? How can I speak this without speaking blasphemy? I graduated Tampa Catholic in 1970. I had a wonderful, beautiful teacher by the name of Sister Helene. Dominican nun. We're all white. When it was time and they could change their habits, Sister Helene leaned to the old way. Now, 1964, 1965, the Catholics had this big convention, right? Ecumenical Council. They put forth a new Bible. Instead of the priest having his back to the audience all the time, saying everything in Latin, they turned his little face around and he started saying things in English. That was the change. Okay. Now, during that time, unbeknownst to me at that time, but I picked up later on and then was later told by Sister Helene. Now, any of you folks from Tampa Catholic, that might be any Catholic, but you folks from Tampa Catholic, you better listen up to me, because Sister Helene did not lie about anything. And she told me stuff and allowed me to ask her questions, because she couldn't speak about it because of her vows. But if I asked her a question about something, she couldn't lie. Just like Father Malachi Martin in the 1990s. Sister Helene, Tampa Catholic High School, 1970. That woman saved my life. And I'm here now, and if only one person views this, sees this, and hears this, and I'm going to have to do this little section over in a smaller video. But anybody who might pay attention to this, who might listen to this, who might see this, listen to me. In 1970, Sister Helene told me, through my questioning of her, the Catholic Church has been invaded. Invaded by negative forces. Now, that's for another video for me to discuss more about what. Needless to say, she had no reason to lie to me. But she had every reason to tell me the truth, because I was asking about, Sister, I know Mother Mary has spoke to me, and she wishes for me to be a priest or to be something. And so I've been an altar boy all my life. I've studied the Catholic religion. I've hung out with some of the priests too much in certain ways, meaning pedophile. She didn't know about that. I don't think I ever told her that. She would have freaked out. But see, she had been abused as a nun by the priest of the Catholic Church, as had other nuns in the Catholic Church. And she told me, Dave, the longer that you're in the church, and as long as you follow, I don't think directions was, no, liturgy. Follow your vows. In other words, if you took a vow of poverty, then you stayed poor, or whatever. But the way she put it is there are secret vows. And that you have to be a nun like for 10 years, for example, and then they'll tell you some secrets. Really? What kind of secrets? Well, so when she said that, she opened up the door for me to start asking her questions. What kind of secrets? So me, being the inquisitive kind, I'm asking questions. I want to become a priest. Mother Mary has spoke to me. I've seen her manifest in front of me. Mother Mary, I know, wants me to do something. She has told me that I have something that I'm going to have to do. And people are going to want to kill me for it at some point in my life. So I went and hid in the woods all this time. Not any longer. I'm out of the woods. Well, I'm not out of the woods, but I am on the internet. And whether you watch this or not, my voice is speaking. I'm speaking the words. I'm speaking the energy to the universe. It's being recorded on this machine. It's being recorded to the AI that's watching the whole damn thing in there. It's being recorded. Hi, AI. Did you know I was going to talk this long tonight? No, because I did it at the last minute. Now, how can that damn thing predict that I was going to come on YouTube? We'll see. We'll see how much prediction this AI has really got, because I'm a weird old guy. Now, Putin, Russia, ETs. Should we believe it? For your benefit? I think you should. I already do. For my benefit? I don't need any proof. I got my proof. They spoke to me. In fact, I'm kind of getting a little bit of a message going on right now. I've watched many different psychic channeler type folks, and I ain't even trying to say I am. But I do get messages, and I understand where they're coming from. I trust what I hear on this side of my head, because it's never about anything bad. Never. If it is, it's to warn me about something bad. Remember the old cartoons of the devil's on one side and the angels on the other? Well, I listened to the wrong side for a long time. Not that I was evil. I stayed drunk. I stayed high on all kinds of pills and acid and meth and whatever. Why did I do that? Because I was trying to hide from this right here. I was trying to hide from my destiny. I was trying to shut off the good voices in my head. And by staying drunk, the only voices that I heard were the bad ones. And so when Sister Helene told me that there were secrets in the Catholic Church, and I started questioning, what, about ETs? Yes. What? About our history? Yes. What? About the truth about God? Yes. What? So for the time that I knew her, Sister Helene taught me so many things. So when I asked her point blank, Sister Helene, do you think that I, David W. Null, should become a priest? She said, oh, hell no. You need to go study Buddha. What? You're a Catholic nun. You're a Dominican nun. A bunch of years, she wasn't an old woman, but I would say she was in her mid-40s when I knew her. Maybe older. She could have been younger. That was all you saw was this much of her face. But just from her experience and such, I would have guessed she was in her 40s. Maybe 50s. However, when she told me that I should go study Buddhism and not the Catholic Church, and to not become a priest, when I thought that that's what Mother Mary wanted me to do. Well, it's been about a year ago now, because we're in October. And last year I was having some freaky deaky times because I was getting flooded with information. I was being flooded with internet information that I needed. I was being flooded with history that I needed about, in all things. I mean, from physics, science, I mean, just everything. Religion, ancient aliens, just, oh, wow. And talk about hours of training, lessons. And I was freaking out because I saw the end times. I saw the vision that I had several years ago everything falling into place. And a reoccurring dream of something, and then I would go, wow, blah, 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 and I would speak it, and a day later, there it is on TV or on the news, or oh, holy crap. And having not heard of it before, because I say I'm choosy with what I watch on the internet. I am in a way. I'm rather led. I'll be like, okay, I'll turn it on and go, okay, what do you want me to learn today? And I'll click on something, and there's sometimes something will come up, and I go, I don't want to listen to that. And they'll go, yeah, you need to sit down and shut up and listen. And there have been times that's when I needed to pay attention most, and I did learn things. So I'm here to pass along to you for if one person hears it and sparks something. Okay. Last year, I had this vision in my house downstairs. I'm watching a presentation. It's sort of like a National Geographic kind of Nova thing about Fatima. But it went a little further. It did include the idea that maybe an ET ship was there or something, you know. All right. And that, yes, it was spiritual, but there could have been a physical reason for it, not just a supernatural. And alien intervention could be part of God's source. Okay. Doesn't mean if Mother Mary is an alien, let's just say, and she's sitting on a mothership orbiting in the Kuiper Belt in our solar system, waiting to come back with her son Jesus Christ, who did walk this earth and died for us, to show people that you didn't really die. Think about it. He didn't come back to life. He didn't die. He didn't resurrect. He never died. Think about it. He never died. We don't die. Our souls don't perish. We have been other entities in other places. I know I've been to other planets, and I can't explain it. There are things that I just know inside, but I look around in this universe and go, I don't know. Years ago, when I talked about we were slipping into different time streams, in the 80s I discussed it with people. Early 90s, before I even knew Father Malachi Martin existed, before I listened to Coast, because I live out here in the swamp, you see. So some of these things I learned, but I didn't pick them up until 2007. How about that one? Why? Because I didn't have time for the internet. The internet was only for an occasional bit of porn, and mostly 99 and 9/10% of it was for strictly business, because I was an engineer and working all the time. After 2005, I lost my job. Things happened. I've got more time. Then I start studying other things on the internet, not just porn. That's a joke, everybody, because everybody thinks that the internet's nothing but for porn. So in my learnings and in my travels during the day, I would get these little, hey, turn on this, there's something there. I know. Well, okay, then go outside and listen to it on. I would turn on the stereo and put a speaker outside, so I could work outside in the garden or whatever, and I could listen. I don't have to watch it. Sometimes you do, but so I'm listening to programs. And it happened to be about Fatima. It happened to be about Mother Mary. It had to be about the fact that in 1964, the truth about Fatima was supposed to come out. And the Pope said no. He sealed it back up and said the next Pope can handle this. When Father Malachi Martin, before he was murdered actually, okay, He just didn't die. He was murdered. Because right after he was on the Art Bell show and spoke about the apostate coming in the Catholic Church, and that the fact that Satanists had infected the papacy of the Catholic Church to which he belonged, were doing satanic sacrifices under the main altar in the Vatican, and that they were holding a black mass before the regular church service upstairs. And so by doing this black mass, the prayers and incantations they still use includes the prayers of the good in the mass they're going to say in front of the congregation. What? The Jesuits took over. The Catholic Church, I used to know in the 60s, is gone. Francis is not a pope. He's the mayor of Rome. He's the mayor of the Vatican. Ratslinger, still alive. But there ain't going to be another pope. Because if I have to go to the Vatican and kick that asshole's ass, I'll do it. He don't need to be on this earth no more. Why? Begliani Bulbo, I hate it. You see, I've been pedophiled by priests, men that I trusted as a youth. 4 different priests. 4 separate times, none of them related. I trusted these men. And being a whacked out, weird kid who was having visions of Mary that I never told anybody about, not knowing what was going on, but then having these priests wanting to put their hands down your pants and feel your ass and want to feel your cojones. Father Eugene McCarthy from Most Holy Redeemer, we would call him a faggot to his face in church. And he would just laugh in his little effeminate way. The smell of that man's breath is the same as every one of the other pedophile priests. And there's a look in their eyes. How do I know? Because I saw it. I saw the evil in their eyes. A Catholic priest, representative of Jesus himself on this earth. We go to him to tell him our sins so that we can be absolved of our sins, is going to punk me in the butt. But he's absolving my sins? A pedophile priest who wants to butt me is also the Savior of my soul. He's the one interceding for me to God. What? What? If you watch the Pope, they will bring him a child. They always do. They always bring him a child. Because they're going to sacrifice the child for him and to him, with him. Joe Biden, Catholic, taught by the Jesuits. You ever seen him? He'll be around little kids. He'll try to hug them and stuff, and they'll all push away. The man needs to be hung by his thing. And let every child he's abused be doomed to death until he's dead. The priest who messed with me, they almost ruined my life. And in a lot of ways they did. The guilt for me. How could I let him do it? But I was taught, we don't talk back to this guy because he's Jesus on earth. Would Jesus ever want to punk me in the butt? Now, I've watched the Catholic Church over the years, and I watched the pedophile priests go from this parish to this parish to this parish to that parish. Did they ever go to jail? No, but they would send them back to Ireland or to the Vatican, or they'd take them somewhere down south so they could pedophile the poor little village kids. Why do I know the Pope is evil? Why do I know for sure in my heart and my soul that the fake Pope Francis, oh, and you know why he picked the name Francis? Because St. Francis of Assisi was a really good guy. He loved children and animals, but not in a pedophile way. So he picks Francis as a name. Why? Because that's, oh yeah, it's a thumbs up. It's a F-U to the church. This is what I think of. You're Pope. You're Francis. Ha ha ha. I'm a pedophile Satanist and I'm going to take his name. That's what he's done. So when I see this fake Pope Francis, and he'll get this evil look in his eye, and his face does this thing, and I cringe all over. Because Father McCarthy comes to mind. Norman Balthazar from Tampa Catholic comes to mind. Father Eugene Sacchetti comes to mind. And Father Larkin, Tampa Catholic, again. Now he was the least of them, all right? But his breath, he always managed to be able to put his hand on my shoulder and lean in. Do you understand, David? Do you get that? Do you have any questions? While he's massaging my neck. In class, in Tampa Catholic, Father Larkin. And he was the quieter of the bunch from what I understand. Not the point. The man had no business doing that at all. Because understanding what his motive was, I was just a confused kid. You know, 14 years old, 15 years old. Here's this priest breathing heavily in my ear and like he's almost wanting to like kiss my neck kind of thing. I mean, I'm not joking. In class, religion class. And folks wonder why I don't like the Pope. Folks wonder why I want to talk down about the Catholic Church. It's not the church anymore. It's an apostate. It's fake. And it really are being run by pedophile people. I'm not saying on the female side, none side. I do know, because of what Sister Arlene said, that there are those individuals being nuns of the Catholic Church have been brainwashed so much that they had to do whatever was told of them for fear of damnation and of the vows they vowed to keep and follow in their order. So, like me, I understand. Why did you let a man pedophile you? Why did you let two? How did you end up having 4 different priests pedophile you at 4 different times? It's because I was brainwashed to trust them, that they were God here on earth. They were the representative of Jesus Christ on my behalf. Nowhere in the Bible does it say Jesus wanted to punk anybody. Nowhere in the Bible did Jesus bend over one of the apostles and say, do this in remembrance of me. Putin, he don't like the Pope. Putin is Orthodox. What does that mean? Way back, Rome wasn't the center of the Catholic Church. It was Constantinople. 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 There's another word in there, but I can't remember. Alexandria, Constantinople. Okay. So the Orthodox Church, which in a lot of ways is the original Catholic Church, because there was a split. So them guys said, we staying over here. We don't really like you guys. I don't know what you guys are doing down there in Rome, but we are not going to do like the Romans do. So them guys moved down to Rome. Now, in my upbringing and my teachings by the Catholic Church, guess what? Oh, those Orthodox guys over there, they don't have it. Don't listen to them. Them Orthodox guys over there, oh, no. No, man, they left it. Let me tell you, they don't understand. No, the real Jesus Christ, he talks to us. Our God's the real one. The Catholic Church, we're the real ones. Don't you dare listen to them guys, the Orthodox guys. No, they don't tell the truth. Sorry about that. I gotta have a little bit of humor in this, because it's so sick. I'm 64 years old. The first thing, the pedophile thing that happened with me was 13, 14 years old. For 50 years, I've lived with this. 50 years I've lived with this. I spoke out about it. I've written a few things on Facebook, and I've spoke to people about it. But I'm I'm fixing to come out. Out. Well, I guess you could say I am now. There's nobody watching. I realized who that one person watching me is. It's me. How nobody's watching? I'm watching myself. It's not the point. If my video's sitting out there, this video's sitting out there, and somebody runs across it, and you see this, I'm going to have to do this other thing. I'm going to have to do a midnight rambling about church pedophile. I got to. Maybe that'll be for tomorrow night. Because some of the things that are happening right now, like, should we believe Putin? Okay. I believe Putin. Why? Because he is a reborn again Orthodox. Really. So, to me, because I know that the Orthodox Church refused to make changes back in the day. And they stuck with, whether it's right or wrong, they stuck with it. And in the Bible it says anyone, and especially there in Revelations, right towards the end, the angel says to John, the Lord said, if any man should change my words, his name will be written out of the book of life. Well, when the church split, they changed it. Catholics. Orthodox didn't. Putin happens to be Orthodox Christian. To me, he's with the original church. Not that they're the only religion. I don't want to go there. My point, though, is that from a Christian standpoint, is Putin Christian? You can bet your ass he is. I can tell by the way he reacts with the Holy Father, Kroll. I can't remember the name right now. Anyway, but he is the equivalent of Pope for the Orthodox. Now, when I look at this guy, the Orthodox Pope, he don't creep me out. I look at Francis and some of his cronies, and I immediately get creeped out. I don't think the Orthodox guys are punking their boys. How can I tell? The face. Facial recognition. Once you've been pedophiled by an evil person, you smell their breath, you hear the way the air comes out, how they breathe heavily, not just heavily, but it's like they're breathing heavily with intent, and they are, because their intent is they want to punk you. And for your older people, and then for those of you guys that have been in jail, punk means to get up the butt, okay? Just in case you didn't know, that's what to get punked really means. These guys now are going, hey, you got punked. Nope, you didn't get punked unless they took you around the back and dropped your drawers and your underwear and they punked you. That's not punk. If you're in jail and you get out of jail and you go, man, I got punked. I know what that means, because I almost got punked in jail. I believe Putin because of his relationship to his religion, to his faith, to his Holy Father of the Orthodox Church, who don't pedophile little boys, or there's no history of it. I mean, I can look it in their face. I mean, the guys that help Pope out, the guys around him are pedophiles. I can see on the, none of them make me comfortable. And then they send him little kids to go sit on his lap and stuff. And I can see him leering on these children, literally drooling, knowing that they're going to get killed, knowing that the children who sit with the fake Pope Francis are going to be murdered. Yes, murdered, sacrificed by the satanic Jesuit faction who's in charge of the Vatican right now and has been for quite some time. Now, you Catholics out there who don't want to believe me, you non-Catholics who don't want to believe me, oh, the Pope is such a great man. If you knew how many kids he sacrificed, if you knew how many children he punked, you would hang him, you would strip the flesh off of his body while he was alive. You would not allow him to die, and you would inflict the worst torture on him that you could ever think of in your life. And that wouldn't make up for that much of what he's done. And others like him. Why do I know that Francis is not true? Because not one priest has been sent to jail or executed for any of that bad behavior. Not one. Not one. Ain't gonna be. When Francis came over last September and hung out with everybody, went into the White House, there were several young children who disappeared that day for the murder and sacrifice and ritual rape of the children in the White House. That belongs, you're not going to believe this, but the White House, because it's the District of Columbia, ain't America, it actually belongs. You listening? It actually belongs to the church. Washington, D.C. belongs to the Vatican. When Francis was here last year, it was to have sacrifices on those days of Passover and everything that went down last year with the Shemitah events and everything around the 23rd, all the stuff. There was a lot to do with it. And since he went home and through the winter and after this, then they started, you gotta get your guns. Then more shootings, more false flags, more all of this stuff, people getting killed. Oh, we got to give up your guns. Boom, 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 boom. Notice there was a lot of rhetoric up to that point. But after Francis came and did his little thing, he was like consecrating, okie dokie, I give permission for y'all the United States of America. Y'all have at it. We got a year because your term's about up, and we got Hillary in the sidelines, who's going to be the next one, and because she's a lesbian dyke killer herself and a witch of the third degree. You don't believe it? Hang out a while. It's coming. To those of you in the Catholic Church, don't listen to Francis. My aunt is over 80 years old, and she knows of priests. My aunt, it's not like she goes around, in places. She knows over the years because she was converted Catholic. I was there, I think. In fact, I think she had her confirmation the same time I did. So Shirley's been in the church for long years. Now, she's kind of left the church like I have, in that I still believe in Jesus. I still believe in God. I don't believe in the Catholic Church at all. But she's like, and this has been several years ago. She goes, they were just talking about, I went to church the other day, and Father blah, 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 they threw him out of such and such a parish because there were some little boys complained that he pedophiled them. And I'm, blah, 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 here he shows up at our church in Zephyr Hills. Said they would move him out of Tampa, out of Hillsborough County, into Pasco County, which is a different district. You got to do the old county thing because they don't want to do that kind of stuff. It's a priest, and it's probably the kid was just fooling around, and off you go. And of course, the cops are paid off on this because a lot of them are part of the deal. Help cover it up. I don't know what favors they're getting, but they do. And it's just all a bail rotten sham. For those of you who try to cover it up in the Catholic Church and say that it does not happen, please, I beg you. What they're doing now is so wrong. What they did to me is so wrong. And I'm just one person. And I know of many, many, many boys who are pedophiles. Several have killed themselves because they could not take it any longer. Because a priest, the man that they trusted, punked him. Couldn't figure it out why. Knew it wasn't correct in life. Couldn't handle it in older life. Drink, shoot drugs. One was found dead about 3 or 4 days after the fact. It was about 1972, because I think it was in 73 I had a issue and I ended up here in South Georgia. It was North Tampa, Skipper Road. And at the time it was still really country. 2-lane, old Tampa, Don't recognize it now. Out on Skipper Road, I had lived in a trailer, and it was a duplex trailer. It was a 1-bedroom apartment on either side, either end. And it was cool because the living rooms joined, so the bedrooms were away from each other, which was cool. You could make all the noise you wanted to in your living room, and the bedrooms were quiet. That was a good idea. Well, I met somebody at that particular time. We went to school together somehow. I can't remember if they were at MHR, who come to MHR for a while, and I'm not sure if they went to Tampa Catholic, but anyway, I knew them in later life. We had talked about this kind of stuff, and we were doing acid at the time, and he was just like, man, why would a priest do this, And I mean, we're really, really out there on this acid back in the day. He's like, Dave, I don't know if I could live with this all my life. I know I'd already attempted suicide once by that time, and had still had bouts with it. Took too much heroin. OD'd by himself. Nobody'd seen him. So over a weekend, Friday, they figured it was probably Friday, and they found him like on Wednesday. Not much to find. He was melting into his chair or something. If folks knew how many times I wanted to die because of what happened to me, the life that I led, drugs, alcohol, running, I don't feel uncomfortable around a lot of people sometimes. Why would I rather be out in the woods? Why would I rather be meditating with a tree like the real St. Francis? It's hard for me to face that I let four different men, actually five, but he wasn't a priest. That's another story, but I was a confused young man. I didn't want to be punked. I didn't want men chasing me. I wanted a girlfriend. My girlfriend didn't know that guys were trying to punk me. She might now that I've said it. Another reason why I broke up with her was because I had had a pedophile experience that just made me crazy. Didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was right or wrong. Man took me off, scared, didn't know what to do. I'm in a place I don't know, and I know I got myself into this, and all I knew was to ride it out and maybe not get killed or get hurt. The pain was what happened. Cover-up story has happened until now. Until now. Because I kept making up excuses. It was my fault. I went with him. Oh, but did he lure me? A German man, by the way. Handsome. He had that German, very Austrian look. How he spoke. Oh, young man, would you like to go for a ride with me? Yeah. Old history. Still right there, though. Because I allow it. I don't allow it anymore. I say this because why did I let four priests do it? Because something had happened there that set the chain reaction on, I guess, maybe. A lot of other men out there, as young boys, got trapped, not wanting to. And for all the priests who've gotten away with it, I say this, and I say this precisely. God damn you, priests, who've done this to me and to others. God damn you for what you have done. How about them apples? Father Vacetti, damn you. Father Balthazar, damn you. Father McCarthy, damn you. Father Larkin, I feel I have the right to do that. Why? Do I have the right to have God to damn these people? Because they are working for Satan. That's how I can say it. Damn the Satanists. They've already damned themselves. They don't believe in God. They think they're better than God. Lucifer is who they worship. So yes, God, damn them. Who should do these evil things? Make them pay. I've rambled on way too long. Yeah, about an hour longer than I should have, huh? Quit there. Putin, I believe him. I don't believe Obama. I don't believe Hillary. I don't believe none of them jackasses. Nope, not Biden, not Kerry, not none of them. And you shouldn't either, because they are on the wrong side. Putin, he's with the real church. He's with the Orthodox. Putin, you can look at his eyes. You can look by his face and you can tell. Look at how the Russian people love this guy. And you know what? Not only that, but he's working for the good ETs. That's for real. Now, I'm almost done. I got to put this at the end. I can't do it on this machine, so I got to go over here to this one, and I got to find. Oh, come on, silly beans. This keyboard don't act like. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. All right. And it's going to take me to the other one. That's all right. Okay, there ain't nobody watching anyway. All right, so go to my subscriptions and hang on a second. I'm going to give you DH's. Hang on, folks. If anybody watches this, just give me a second, all right? I guess it would be DS for Dante Santori. DS, and I think it's AHK. I'll give it to you in a minute. John Hutchinson, Pastor Paul Begley. Pastor Paul Begley is a wonderful man, by the way. I haven't met him directly, but I just want to say that I have sent in some notes to his show one time, and I was absolutely very surprised that at the time I think I was using Hawkeye 2 feathers, but he did mention my YouTube name thing before I was having a big issue, and yeah, there's Putin right there. Let's see, I'm still looking for this for the one coming up. Let's see. I think I'm getting. Wait. Oh. Yeah, this poor old thing. At least it's working. You know. Thank God there's no more. What do you call it? Oh, Windows 10 update banana stuff. Let's see. Come on. I'm almost through. Hang in there for just a second. Yeah, I wanted to give this site's name. Wow, it's way down here. Way down here. All right. You can't look at him under Dante because it's not Dante anymore. Oh, there it is. DS space AHK. All right? And yes, you should definitely check him out. In fact, when I get through this video, I'm new at this. I'm going to do my best to put a link or something underneath there. And go to my Facebook page, David Null. Look for the guy that does theater and puppets and stuff like that. Check out my ugly face, you know. But also, I forward stuff from Dabte onto my Facebook page. So if you can't find Dabte, DS space, no dash, nothing, AHK. Check it out. He'll show you the real stuff going on with Putin and Russia and what's really happening with our space brothers and sisters. And that it is more real than you will ever want to know. In fact, if you knew the real truth, a lot of you would literally pass out with a heart attack. I ain't lying. Because I've seen some of the creatures that he's talked about before I knew what he was talking about. So, yes. The Shellium. Yeah, there's one for you. I love you all. This is Hawkeye Two Feathers. I'm from South Georgia, USA. I love you all. We are going to win this thing. We got to believe it. They might win their way for a while. They ain't going to beat us all. It ain't going to happen. I love you. Take care of yourself. And we'll be back. Tomorrow, Midnight Rambling with a Redneck Hippie. See you then.